Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Babu Siwaki min al-fitrati. Chapter of Miswak being from Fitra. What's the meaning of Fitra? The meaning of Fitra is there's ikhtilaf there. Some say Fitra means deen, right? Fitratullahi allati fatara an-nasa alayha. The deen of Allah which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the people on naturally. Naturally everybody was a muwahid, right? Or fitra can also mean fitrata salima, natural disposition. In other words, your nature will tell you that I need to do these things here, right? And one call says fitra here means the sunnahs of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, right? So nevertheless, those things, right, which your natural disposition tells you that you have to clean. There's no need to tell you that you need to clean, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only indicates to this. Otherwise, you yourself, because your natural fitra is that you should clean these places here, therefore you clean it, right? Green. Okay. وبيقول حدثنا يحيى بن معين حدثنا وكيع عن زكريا بن ابي زائدة عن مصعب بن شيبة عن طلق بن حبيب عن ابي الزبير عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عشر من الفطرة كسر الشارب وعفاء اللحية والسواك والاستنشاق بالماء وقص الأظفار وغسل البراجم ونتف الإبط وحلق الآنة انتقاص الماء يعني الاستنجاء بالماء. قال زكريا قال موسى ونسيت العاشرة إلا أن تكون المضمضة. Right. Now from Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, right, that 10 things are from fitra. One is to trim the mustache, the second is to lengthen the beard, the other is make miswak, the other is to put water in the mouth, to gargle the mouth, and to trim the nails, and to wash the joints, and to pluck the armpits, and to shave the hair beneath the navel, and to intiqasul ma, in other words, decrease the water, in other words, make istinja with water. Zakaria says it, Mousab says it, I forgot the 10, except that it could be gargling the mouth. So okay, the istinshaq bil ma, is putting water in the nose, right? So when it comes to trimming the mustache, right? So when you trim lightly, then that is called qas, right? When you trim lightly, you don't trim a lot, right? And then you trim more, then it's called ihfa. Then the third word that comes is halq, right? So when it so there's ikhtilaf here, right? According to us and according to Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayhi, ihfa is the best, right? In other words, you trim, but until you understand, you emphasize in trimming, you trim a lot. And then Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he says that what's the name? That other one, qas, right? And he says you got Imam Shafi scholar, they say that the qas should be so much that the redness of your top lip is exposed. So you must at least cut all those that are flowing onto your top lip. And he say you don't completely take it out from the roots. Imam Nawawi rahmahullah, he also prohibits from ihfa. That's the one we say is better. And likewise Imam Malik rahmahullah, he says, according to him, ihfa is musla. It is disfigurement, right? No. So you get 3. One is qas, right? It's to trim, but not very much, right? Light trim. Yeah, that's a better word, light trim. Then ihfa is to trim a lot until the skin. You're trimming it, but not shaving. You're still trimming it, but right till the skin. You understand? And then halq is the one which is now complete shaving, right? So now we use the razor now. You see, we use the razor, and that is also like not the machine. You use the machine. That's like ihfa. And one is you take that razor. You know they do for umrah. They take it and that is now. You understand? I'm giving my own interpretation here because I'm doing it. Nevertheless, right. Then the second fitra is i'fa'ul lihya, right? Letting the beard grow, right? And according to Aimma Arba, to keep the beard is wajib, right? To let the beard grow is wajib. And this opposes the mushrikeen and the fire worshippers. And some riwayats, there is clear mention of this, right? To lengthen the beard. You understand it? So from this we understand that lengthening the beard is not a sunnat adi. It's rather a sunnat shar'i. You understand? It's not something that Nabi Karim just did because everybody else was doing it. Like the clothes maybe. You wear the shawl, the lungi and the shawl. Why? Because everybody, that was the standard dress. And that is a sunnat adiyah. And then on the other end, you have the sunnat shar'i, where the shariat emphasizes that you must do this, right? Right. Aimai Salas, right, says that you are allowed to trim after one first. And they take this from the action of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, that he used to trim after one first. Right, you should trim after one first. So when it comes to more than one first, then there is ikhtilaf there. Some say it is permissible now to trim more than one first, and some say it is recommended. You understand? To trim more than one first. The Shafi'iyah, they say mutlaqan, general, just to lengthen the beard. Lengthen the beard is better. You understand it? Right. Then we come now to gargling the mouth and putting water in the nose, in the nostrils, right? They say madmada and istinshaq, there is ikhtilaf there. According to Imam Shafi and Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh, these two are sunnat in wuzu and ghusl. And according to Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayh, these two are wajib in wuzu and ghusl, right? And in one qawl he says madmada is sunnat and istinshaq is wajib, right? And Ahnaf says these two are sunnat in wuzu and then faraz in ghusl, right? Then when it comes to clipping the nails, the ulama say that clipping the nails itself is sunnat in whichever way you do it, right? Then the ulama have given a tartib of how you should do it. You start with the index finger and you go around and you finish off with the thumb on your right hand, index finger of the right hand. Then they say that to trim the nails before Jummah Salat is mustahab, right? Because of the hadith in Bayhaqi, كان عليه الصلاة والسلام يقلم أظفاره ويقص شاربه قبل الجمعة, right? You should trim his nails and you should trim his mustache before Jummah, right? Then the washing of the joints, right? Wherever the joints are. In other words, barajim means all those joints or all those places where the perspiration gathers and where the dirt gathers, right? So therefore, you should take care of that there. And even the armpits also, you understand it? And then where the thighs, the root of the thighs and the armpits also is included in this, right? Then they got the plucking of the armpits. So what we understand from this, the actual thing to do under on the armpits are plucking. That's the original. And then shaving is also permissible, shaving the armpits. But the actual thing was plucking. If a person had to start off by plucking the armpits, then it would have been easy for him. it would have been easy for him. But because we are habitual with shaving, therefore we can't pluck now. But if you started plucking the armpits, then you find and it's not difficult. Right? It's mentioned that Yunus bin Abdul A'la, he came to come visit Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh. Then he found Imam Shafi rahmatullah by the barber, and the barber was shaving his armpits. So he said, Alimtu anna sunnata an-natafu, walakin la aqwa ala al-waj'i. I know that, so Imam Shafi rahmatullah told him immediately, I know that the sunnat is actually to pluck, but I don't have the strength on the pain. You understand? Therefore, it's better to pluck the armpits, yeah. But now here he was shaving, so he told us the person who came visit him that look, this is the case, yeah. I don't have the sunnah is actually plucking, but I don't have the strength. I can't manage the pain, right? So what we understand from this also, from the section of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh, is that the ulama and those people who are muqtada, they've been followed, they must also be careful of the mustahabbat. They must try and practice on the mustahabbat also. Right. Then it comes to shaving under the navel. So what's the meaning of ana? Ana, three meanings. One is under the navel. Right. Other meaning is from that place where the hair actually starts growing. Right. So that's a bit lower. And then one cowl is just around the actual sabilain, the two passages, right? However, this cowl is weak. And some ulama say for a woman, instead of shaving, plucking the ana is better. Plucking the ana is better, right? Then we come now to istinja bil ma. The words mentioned here is intiqasul ma. To decrease the water. They say the meaning is given here because water has an effect in removing that excess urine. So if you now make istinja, you passed urine. Now you're waiting. You're waiting to make istibra. You're making istibra now, right? So water will help you in this istibra. By pouring water, you will now be allowing the remaining urine to come out. Then the other meaning they give for intiqasul ma is that sprinkling water, right? Rashul ma'i bil farji ba'da al wudu'i. To sprinkle water on the private part after wuzu. And this is to cut off the waswasas, right? A person now makes wuzu. And first he passes urine, right? Then he makes istibra. He does his istibra. Then he feels satisfied now, because you're not allowed to make wuzu until you're satisfied the istibra was done properly, right? Then you make your wuzu. Now, as you walk into the masjid, you get a feeling there that something is coming out. Yeah, you understand it? So then you say, no, but I already sprinkled water. That's the wetness I'm feeling, because that is that rashul ma. You sprinkled water after you made wuzu, so that will remove your waswasa. Right. Illa an takuna, so except right. Next hadith. وبيقول حدثنا موسى بن اسماعيل وداود بن شبيب قال حدثنا عمار بن علي بن زيد عن سلمة بن محمد بن عامر بن ياسر قال موسى عن أبيه وقال داود عن عمار بن ياسر أن رسول الله قال إن من الفطرة المضمرة والاستنشاق وذكر نحوه ولم يذكر إعفاء اللحية ولم يذكر إعفاء اللحية وزاد والختانة قال والانتضاح ولم يذكر انتقاص الماء يعني الاستنجاء. قال أبو داود روى نحوه عن ابن عباس وقال خمس كلها في الرأس وذكر فيه الفرق ولم يذكر إعفاء اللحية. قال أبو داود وروي نحو حديث حماد عن طلق بن حبيب ومجاهد وعن بكر بن عبد الله المزني قولهم ولم يذكروا إعفاء اللحية. وفي حديث محمد بن عبد الله بن أبي مريم نبي سلمة نبي هريرة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في وإعفاء اللحية. وعن إبراهيم النخعي نحوه وذكر إعفاء اللحية والختان. Right. Narrated from so he's got two ustads here, Musa ibn Ismail and Dawood ibn Shabib, right? So he say Musa narrates from his father and Dawood وقال داود put water in the nose. And he mentioned similar to the previous hadith. However, he didn't mention the lengthening of the beard, right? And he mentions he didn't mention lengthening of the beard. However, what he mentions is an increase, making khatna, right? And he said, wal intidaha. So he said sprinkling water, and he didn't mention intiqas al-ma. In other words, istinja with water. Qala Abu Dawood. And he narrated similar to it from Ibn Abbas, and he said, 5, all of it is in the head. And he mentioned in it making a middle part. And he didn't mention the lengthening of Jabir. Abu Dawud says, and it narrated, similar is narrated from and he narrates the likeness of the hadith of Hamad from Talq ibn Habib and Mujahid, and from Talq ibn Habib and Mujahid, and from Bakr ibn Abdullah al-Muzani. Their qawl, right? In other words, their statement, and they didn't mention the length of the beard. And in the hadith of Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abi Maryam from Abu Salma, from Abu Huraira, from the Nabi Akram, in it is lengthening of the beard, and from Ibrahim Nakhai also similar to it, and he mentions the lengthening of the beard and the khatna. Right. What's the so the extra thing that's mentioned here in this verse is the khatna, right? So the Shawafi and the Hanabil, they say that for both, for the men and the women, it is wajib. And Hanaf got two calls. One is saying it is wajib, and the other one saying it's sunnah. However, it is such a sunnah which is from the sha'air of Islam, right? So it's an important sunnah. And Imam Malik's mashhur statement is that for the men it is sunnah, and for the woman it is mustahab. That's what I remember from us also. For the men, the khatna is sunnah, an important sunnah, and for the woman it is mustahab. Right. Right. So then he got here Uqal Musa and Abi Uqal Dawood and Ammar ibn Yasir. So that the explanation of this here is that it's got two Musa and Dawood. And both they narrate from Salma bin Muhammad, right? Then after that the sanad is the same. So then at the end there he just says an abihi, right? He doesn't mention the Sahabi. So therefore, Anabi, when you say Anabi, that riwayat is Musa. And in Dawood's riwayat, he got, after Salma bin Muhammad, they don't have Anabi. He only got Ammar bin Yasir. So that riwayat now is not Mursal, but it's Munkati. So the first riwayat is missing the Sahabi, so that riwayat is Mursal. And the second riwayat is missing the link between the Sahabi and the Rawi. So that riwayat is Munkati. Got it now? Right. So then as Abdullah ibn Abbas, you mentioned 5 things got to do with the head. Khamsun fi ra'si wa khamsun fi jasadi. Fi ra'si qassu shari wal madar wa istinshaq wa siwaku wa farqu ra's. وفي الجسد تقليم الأظفار وحلق الآنة والختان ونتف الإبل والاستنجاء بالماء. Right. So Abdullah ibn Abbas, instead of saying Kefa ul Lahiyah, he mentioned farq. Right. So what's farq is where you make a middle part, right? When you come and make a middle part. Imam Abu Rahman says, وَرَوَى نَحْوَ حَدِيث Hamad. So which Hamad is this? Hamad, which is in the hadith of Ammar. So if you look at it here now, where is it now? حدثنا قال حدثنا Hamad ibn Salman. Right? So he's in the riwayat here from Ammar ibn Yasir. Right? So they say he mentioned the 3 attachments. One is Talq ibn Habib, the other one is Mujahid, and third is Bakr ibn Abdullah al-Muzani. So nevertheless, that is their statement, so their hadith is mawquf. because they just say they don't attribute to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right. That covers that. باب السواك لمن قام بالليل. شريك قال حدثنا محمد بن قاسم قال حدثنا سفيان المنصور وحسين ابي وائل عن حذيفه رضي الله عنه قال ان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كان اذا قام من الليل يسوس فاه بالسواك. And Abu Huzaifa radiallahu anhu said, Nabi Akram, when you stand up in late, you rub his teeth, he rub his mouth, and his teeth with the miswak. Right. وفي قال حدثنا موسى بن اسماعيل قال حدثنا حماد قال حدثنا باس بن حكيم عن زرارة بن أوفى عن سعد بن هشام عن عائشة رضي الله عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يودع له وضوءه وسواكه فإذا قام من الليل تخلى ثم استاق. Aisha رضي الله عنها that Nabi Akram his wuzu water used to be kept ready for him and his miswak. So when he would stand up for at night, then he would relieve himself, then he would make the miswak. Right. Those two hadiths are self-explanatory. وبيقول حدث محمد بن كثير قال أخبرنا همام عن علي بن زيد عن أم محمد عن عائشة رضي الله عنها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان لا يرقد من ليل ولا نهار ويستيقظ إلا يتسوق قبل أن يتوضأ. There was Aisha رضي الله عنها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He never used to sleep at night or the day, then he would wake up, except he would use a miswak before he would make wuzu. Right, so that's also so it's mentioned here now. The moment a person gets up, whether you are sleeping at night or you are sleeping in the day, then it's sunnah now to make the mustahab to use the miswak. So I mentioned in the qiyam min an-nawm, miswak is mustahab, and we mentioned it before, right? وبه قال حدثنا محمد بن عيسى قال حدثنا حسين قال أخبرنا حسين بن حبيب بن أبي ثابت عن محمد بن علي بن عبد الله بن عباس عن النبي عن جدي عبد الله بن عباس قال بيت ليلة عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فلما استيقظ من منامه أتات طهوره فأخذ سواكه فاستاك ثم تلا هذه الآيات إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب حتى قارب أن يختم سورة أو ختمها ثم تودى فأتى مصلاه فصلى ركعتين ثم رجع إلى فراشه فنام ما شاء الله ثم استيقظ ففعل مثل ذلك ثم رجع إلى فراشه فنام ثم استيقظ ففعل مثل ذلك ثم رجع إلى فراشه فنام ثم استيقظ ففعل مثل ذلك في كل ذلك يستاق ويصلي ركعتين ثم أوتر. قال أبو داود ورواه ابن فضيل عن حسين قال فتسوق وتوضأ ويقول إن في خلق السماوات والأرض حتى ختم السورة. Right, narrated from Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, I spent the night by Nabi Karim. Then when he stood up from his sleep, he came to his wuzu water, then he took his miswak, then he used the miswak, then he cited the ayat, Inna fi khalqi samawati, right till the end day. Until he was close, that he was near to completing the surah, or he completed the surah, then he made wuzu. Then he came to his musalla, then he recited two rakats, then he returned to his bed, then he slept, whatever Allah Ta'ala wishes, then he woke up, then he did the likeness of that, then he returned to his bed, then he slept, then he woke up, then he did likeness of that, so then he returned to his bed. Then he slept, then he woke up, then he did like that. And in all that time, he made miswak and he recited two rakats. Then he made witr. Imam Abu Dawud says, Ibn Fuzail also narrated from Hussein, then he said, then he made miswak, then he made wuzu, and he said, Inna fi khalqi samawati until he completed the surah. Until he completed the surah. Okay, so this hadith here now, another riwayat says, Bitu in the quality Maimuna. I spent the night by my maternal aunt Maimuna radiallahu anha. So that's where he actually. Now, why did Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu stay there? So because just as he observed the day ibadat, he wanted to also observe the night ibadat of Nabi Akram. It's something to think about. That a person, and he was so young, right? That when Nabi Akram passed away, he said that he was 12 years old. So they say there's a statement, Man talab al-ula sahar al-layali. Whoever wants to seek this high knowledge and a high status, then he should spend the nights awake in Mutala. Right. So this hadith here shows Then Nabi Akram would go read 2 rakats, go sleep again, get up, read rakat. Right? However, the same hadith is in Bukhari Sharif, 10 places, and in none of that is there any mention of this method here of sleeping. You understand? Waking up, sleeping, waking up. Rather, this method was not mentioned. Right. Then Imam Buddha Rahman says that he brought another tariq there. ورواه ابن فضيل and Hussein. Right. So Hussein also comes in the top riwayat. So he's in the top riwayat, his student was Hussein. And in this riwayat, it is Ibn Fudayl. And in Hussein's riwayat, he got a hatta qaraba ay yahtama surah or khatama. There was shak there, doubt. He almost finished the surah or he finished it. And in this one, hatta khatama surah until he finished the surah. Leave it to him. Make a mark.